Welcome. What's up, soul family? My name is Stormy Calder. Welcome to I Am Woke. In today's video, I'm going to take you guys through an energy update, an energy forecast for this week, starting today, tomorrow. So November 10th, the week of November 10th. I'm including the 11/11 portal, which is tomorrow. It's one of the biggest days of the year. Very similar to the 8/8 portal in August. So very excited. Lots of like really sweeping high level energies that are actually very grounded and very baked in this year. They're coming through as such grounded, high frequency energy codes. And by grounded, I mean things that you're automatically going to be moving into place, like routine, habits, elevated ways of thinking. It's going to feel very human as opposed to etheric. So that's where we are starting. Happy 11/11 portal. I am doing a shamanic ceremony tomorrow. It will be live for those of you that can't make it. It's at for those of you that can make it, just come. It's at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on 11/11. All the 11s. We're just tapping into the codes. So anyway, that's a Zoom ceremony. I'd love to have you guys there. I left a link in the description below. It's called the Yeti code. So all of the ceremonies that I do, I turn into mini courses, mini programs that teach, it's channeled content through the Akashic records to teach you guys around a specific set of standards and codes, light codes, that are downloaded into the energetic system as well as the mental body, and that you're able to chew on and digest. And I always do big energetic healing work. The last couple of ceremonies you guys were thrilled with, which I was thrilled with as well. Like the divine protection ceremony was really, really incredible. That one was like solid 5 hours of some superior energy healing, black magic removal and the whole thing. So that's like really cleared the way for a lot of you guys. If you've been wondering about that program, there's a link in the description below. You can always email me if you have any questions or if you need a payment plan or anything like that. Because that's doing big prep for the end of the year here. Big prep for this 11/11 ceremony. So anyway, the 11/11 ceremony, the topic is the Yeti codes. So it's specifically the way that this energy approached me is as a Yeti spirit totem, which is the most grounded spiritual mastery, I'd say like on the planet, but they are otherworldly beings, we'll call them, but it's really the mastery of strength. They're telling me superiority in strength because Yetis are like bears. They are physically superior beings, and being able to channel all of that light code, your soul, through your humanity, through your primal nature, using the combination of both the primal, like your shadow, and then the light, the highest aspects of your soul together to really intertwine and work hand in hand for you to live a really great life and feel really, really spiritually elevated about it. So we're going to be covering all of that. If you can't make it live, it is pre-recorded, and when you sign up, I'll send you the recording when we're done tomorrow. So also when you sign up, you get another ceremony as a bonus, as well as a guided meditation on merging the duality within the self. So enjoy those. I would love to see you. If you have questions, send me an email. Okay. And right now I am in the 11/11 portal in the Akashic records. They already gave me a few themes, so I'm just going to jump into those themes. They're the themes of the week and the themes of this portal that are carrying us through the week. Regardless of when you see this, there will be a message here for you if you have landed on this video. It is by no coincidence. So enjoy that. Take what resonates, leave the rest. Like this video, subscribe if you like spiritual development. Comment below, you guys. I've been forgetting to ask you for comments, so there haven't been many comments. I love talking to you in the comments. So comment below. Let me know what your plans are for 11/11 besides hanging out with yours truly. Link is in the description. Let me know what themes you've been encountering spiritually over the last couple of weeks. Like, what have you guys been going through? Hi, Jem. I just got these flowers today. and I'm loving I'm just appreciating their aesthetic right now. Okay, so theme number 1 for the 11/11 portal in this week is self-mastery. So there's a couple of things going on that I'm going to dive into first. There's the closure of past timelines. So I don't know if you guys are feeling like this, but it almost feels like there's a higher timeline that you're stepping into right now that feels like an old timeline. Like maybe you left it behind 4 years ago and you had to like branch off and go down another set of tracks and explore a lot of different ways. And then all of a sudden, like maybe today, maybe this week, you kind of merge into this new creativity where you're like, these ideas, these insights, these things I was chasing a few years ago. It's because when the timeline branches went out, you had to explore a bunch of other avenues. And then you come back to that highest elevated dream timeline. It's on a higher timeline for yourself, that you needed all of this experience and this wandering, whatever you've been doing the last few years, for that higher timeline to then circle back and come back in where you're merging this timeline and the highest timeline for maybe, I'm hearing like 3 to 4 years ago, 6 years ago for some of you. And you're revisiting some dreams, some ideas of who you are, in the process of re-merging. Oh, I love that. Oh my gosh. In the process of merging those two timelines, but re-emerging, like as a butterfly, it's like a coming out. There's a collapse of all of those previous timelines. So there may have been a lot of different ideas, a lot of different trajectories of where you thought you were going to go. And you might be surprised coming up around this time right now, where it's like, oh, I didn't realize that I was going to do that again. Oh, I didn't realize that was an old dream. I remember being like that. Oh, I didn't realize. And it's going to kind of come in like you're getting hit with a ton of bricks, not in any negative way, but it's going to come in with a certain density and creativity that you can't miss. You can't sprint past it. It's just going to be really, really obvious. And you're going to kind of automatically settle in to what that emotional energy was at that time. It's like a spark. It feels like youthing, like getting younger, because there's something about this timeline that's resurfacing, re-emerging, that is bringing a re-emergence of a youthful aspect of yourself that I'm hearing that you left in the dust. Is that true? What's for you is for you, what's not is not. They're just telling me to remind you that this might be a specific message for someone. Because when they said leave it in the dust, that's for someone specific. Okay, so you're going to be picking up on a timeline that you left behind. Likely. Regardless, that timeline, how do you know what's the right one for you? Is that it's going to carry a lot of really exciting energy. It's going to feel, the feeling I'm getting is that it's already grounded. It might look less dazzling to the mind and more just like getting your hands in the soil. It might just be like you working, whatever that work is, you doing something physical. It's a very practical energy. It's a very action-oriented energy. Which a lot of people, they're saying a lot of people will misinterpret and be like, that's not spirit, that's just my mind. That's not spirit, that's just me being human. And it's like, no, those are these energies. They're just coming through in such an expression that is naturally expressive so that you don't feel like you have to ascend to reach that energy. It doesn't feel etheric. It feels creative. It feels human. It feels creative. It feels like something here, like, oh, I'm going to go do that. I don't have any examples top of mind, you guys, but, oh, I'm going to go do that thing I thought I was going to do. Oh, I'm going to go, that I thought I was going to do years ago. I'm going to go do that hobby that I haven't picked up in a while. I'm going to pursue my business in these following ways. Like, I'm going to, but whatever it is, it's very action oriented. It's very settling to the nervous system. It should feel safe. It'll feel exciting. It'll feel stable. And these energies are the opposite to the energies last week with the election in the US. And like, that's what's settling about it. It's the opposite to the chaos energy. When there's that much chaos running in the collective field of energy and the in the psychic collective, there is that much balance also offered, but we generally have to go find it. That balance is being delivered in a little light packet called the 1111 portal. And the balance specifically, I'm being told it is mastery of the human. Okay, the basic human necessities. What are you eating on the day-to-day basis? How are you cleaning your home? How clean is your home? Can you maybe hire someone to clean your home? Like literally, like there are like habits. How can you make your life easier? How can you saturate your environment with aesthetics that are pleasing, things that bring you little bits of joy through your routines, through your habits. Some of you need to start reading some more. They're bringing forward some old habits that I have. Like, if you're having trouble focusing on good things, they're bringing this one through loudly. Especially with the energies that came through at the election last week. Like, if you're having trouble mentally focusing on anything good, go download the Audible app. Get 5 to 6 personal development books. And every morning, for an hour after you wake up, listen to an hour of audiobooks. Now, this past version of me that would do this all the time would listen to the audiobooks on 2.0 speed so that I could get through them faster. I don't know why they're telling me to say that, but if that's your thing, do that as well. But the point is, if you can refocus your mind onto something that's even remotely positive, it will literally change your trajectory for the entire day. It'll change your mentality for the entire day behind the scenes. You naturally will just shift your focus. And that's the whole point, because the 1111 portal is open. The way it's looking to me is like there are 2 gates on the energy. And then it's almost like in Tron, how they have those lightscapes. On the motorcycles, where like when they're driving, there's like light behind it. So anyway, there's 2 gates, which is the 1111, and then we are projecting our momentum through creatively. That's how it's appearing to me. Okay, so anyway, okay, so I'll say theme 2, but it's kind of part of the last theme. Is they said follow the yellow brick road. You want to stay within those gates, essentially. When my guides say to me, follow the yellow brick road, the yellow brick path is the path to least resistance to your joy. It's the path that's most closely aligned with the solar plexus chakra. It's the path of your confidence, but it's a natural, sweet confidence. It's not a confidence you should try on or put on or wear. Follow your joy. Let me tap into this, because it's the yellow brick road is the timeline, and the way that timelines appear, sometimes it can feel a little more difficult or a little easier. This really does feel like you're walking. This feels like a very easy timeline. So what that tells me for you guys to know, for your level of discernment that you need this week, anything that does not feel easy needs to be left behind. Don't give it any attention. Whatever it is, and that's going to move into our next theme. But it's like, if it's not easy, it's not part of this timeline. And I don't mean easy as in a lack of self-control or lack of self-discipline, because that's not what's coming through. There's a lot of discipline on this timeline, a lot of self-control, joy, but it's a settled, grounded joy. As opposed to like a bouncing around joy. It's more a stable joy. So follow the yellow brick road. What's the next right best action? And then next right best action. What feels good right now? What would feel a little bit better? What's something that they're refocusing again on the food. Focus on your food. What are you eating? Because what you eat produces a lot of your body chemistry and your brain chemistry. If you feel bad a couple of hours after eating a meal, think about what you ate, because it has everything to do with your brain chemistry. For example, I can't eat corn or rice because I get major brain fog. within a couple of hours, to the point where I won't be able to work. So pasta, same way. So like think about things like that and start to be mindful of the food that you're putting in your body, and how it affects your mental state and your emotional state. These things aren't random. Like, you could have theoretically a temporary depression that comes on every few days because you eat something that is some level of a starch, or it depends. For different people, different things trigger them, but rice, corn, wheat are pretty triggering for most people. Sugar. Start to monitor what's affecting you emotionally, because those are things you can control. You can control what sort of food you put in your body. So if there's something that's triggering you in certain emotional states that aren't joyful, that aren't stable, you can choose to change what you're eating in order to accommodate your emotional expression. Sometimes I forget to tell people that about myself. I automatically have these patterns set into place because I value my emotional stability as one of my top priorities. So I will not eat corn chips because I know that I'm going to be in a depression 4 hours later or tomorrow. This is for me. Oh, I'll read these little after too. I'm happy that's coming through for you. Yeah, be gentle with yourself. Now, you know what I will say on that as well, what makes it easier to let go of starches like that, or things that are difficult on the body, is a saturation of nutrients. So vitamins, minerals, obviously are great for that for my body, and I'm just sharing this in case this works for you, or what you guys need. As long as I make sure that I have either a celery juice, a carrot juice, or an orange juice, not prepackaged. These are things that I'm making at home, or that I'll go and I'll get a juice, because the nutrient density profile is different. When they're fresh, you get a ton more nutrients. So I find for myself, as long as I have like a juice a day, I still feel really, my emotional health is really vital. When my pH, I notice for myself, when my pH is more acidic, so that's eating things like a lot of nuts, a lot of crackers, beans, things like that, for me, will create an edge on my emotional behavior, where I just get cranky more easily. It's harder for me to channel. I can still channel through it, but I get cranky. And if that happens too many days in a row, I say to myself, oh, Stormy, you need to go get it. You need to go get a juice, or you got to go to get a few handfuls of celery and go juice it yourself, because it's about rebalancing the pH in your body and in your cells. And once I have a juice, my body's pH rebalances, and then I'm like, oh, okay, I feel better. Like, it's literally just like, I feel better. It has to do with the pH. You guys can look up foods that are more pH balanced. Stick away from heavily acidic foods, except for like lemons. Yes, on it, spirit. Foods that balance your pH. That's what I would research. Okay. Theme number 3, don't allow anything to get in the way. They made this very clear to me. They said anything that's distracting you from that yellow brick road, anything that's distracting you from this higher timeline, that's a more creative timeline, that's a very grounded, very routine timeline. Anything that is chaos or a distraction, swat it away. Just say no. They're showing me again, how I was saying, the Tron tracks. It's the 11, it's the number 11. If you watch my last post, my last video, I talk all about what the mastery of the code 11 is. So they're showing the 11 is the 2 ones, like a racetrack, right next to you. One is on one side, one's on the other side, and they're guiding you forward. If there's a distraction, you don't want an obstacle on your path, so swat it away. And that's how they described it to me. They said swat it away like a fly. Don't make anything a big deal. Anything that's a conflict for you, anything that even makes itself look like a big distraction, like, don't give it the emotional, intentional credit of being a problem. Just say no and just swat it away. If it's chaos or distraction, swat it away. We go into depth in that on the November energy update that I think I posted a couple of videos ago as well, that they go into pretty deep on. Is there anything else, Akashic Records, you want to say on don't allow anything to get in the way? They're literally like, it's very, very simple, you guys. Very simple. Don't let anything get in the way of your goals, your dreams, your desires, and this timeline. There are way too many distractions, but the distractions have no power. You're being held in like a vortex, except normally we see the vortex as like a funnel that comes into the moment and grounds down into the ground. And they're actually showing the vortex like a funnel, like it's everything that you've been before and everything that you are now behind you. So it's actually the biggest around you right now, and it's pulling you into the future of a vortex. So you're being sucked in with a lot of momentum with spirit. Just keep all distractions away. Is there anything else you guys can give me, or is that truly that's all we need? You're practicing discernment. It's practicing a level of consciousness where you're constantly going to be comparing this or this or this or this. Should I do this or this? Should I answer that call or not? Is this activity important for me or not? That person's demanding my attention. Should I pay attention to them or not? Like your focus consciously is going to be constantly on this fast compare and contrast, because you're spiritually working on the muscles of discernment. What did I say that again? We're not making it easy on you. These are all of the teams of guides that we all have. They're not making this part easy on us because they want us to actually be able to lift the weight. So this is like you going to the gym and Spirit's saying, we're not going to pick up the dumbbells for you. Like, you need to be able to lift 25 pounds. You just do. So what they're saying is they aren't going to make it easy, which means if you check in with your guides, I do this all the time, and say, hey, should I do this or this? Is this a better timeline for me or this? Is this more important or this? They're not going to be helpful about it. They're asking you to make the decisions from the aspect, from the consciousness of you being human, which is quite literally, you know best for you. You are an adult, unless you're not on my channel, but most of you are, or at least, I won't go there. So use your judgmental mind, your logic, and your reasoning combined with your heart to say, is this an intelligent choice or not? Yes or no, period, end of story. I don't know how many of you are like me, but they're almost speaking to me, but I've already made the shift, which is I will default my judgments to Spirit so that I don't have to make the judgment calls. And they're saying it's less about like, oh God, take care of it. And it's more like, no, you're capable. You're capable right now as a human with all of the knowledge that you have amassed and all of the information you have right now. And if you need more information, you can request it with that mouth of yours, with your voice. Ask. It's less about being passive with Spirit and saying like, oh, Spirit will just take care of it. And they're not saying they won't, but this specific muscle group, they're training all of us to have higher levels of human discernment, which is to be embodied or to take spiritual awareness that has grown up until this point that we own and we have, and channel it into our very human decision-making process without having to ask Spirit for any more judgment patterns or for any to weigh in on anything. And they're giving me a fast example with these flowers. They're telling me it's silly, but it's very practical. So I went to the farmer's market. It would be like me channeling in the moment and saying, Spirit, highest guides, ancestors, is it the most intelligent decision for me to buy these flowers right now? And then getting mentally tied up about it. And Spirit's like, we're not going to tell you whether or not to buy flowers. This is a silly example, but they're just streaming it through this way. Spirit's like, whatever the silly example is that you're thinking in your head that you need a lot more information or spiritual awareness to make your decision, they're saying is utterly complete nonsense. Make your decision so that we can back you. They said it's less about getting the decision right, and it's more about making the goddamn decision so that God can actually get behind the decision and help you. They're literally like, you're not a bad person. This isn't about the morality of the right and wrong within the situation. They said that's not what's being worked out right now in your system. It's not the morals. It's not like, does it make me a bad person if I don't pick the right flower? What does it mean about me if I don't get the flowers? They're like, you can turn anything into a problem. And they're saying, stop anything that is like this. Stop asking spirit about it. Stop waiting. Stop like trying to get a million more insights, ideas for inspiration, and just take the action. All right? They're like, stop wasting your energy on things that don't really matter. For example, the reason why they're using the example of the flowers with me is because I made this decision. This decision was under $10. It's like, whoa, like just get it together. Like that's like what they're saying. And the flowers are gonna die within a week. So it's not a critical decision. This is gonna be gone in a few days. So it has more to do, again, going back to the yellow brick road, this decision had more to do with my happiness in the moment. Like what makes you happy right now? They're saying to use that as the road forward, as the calling card for this week. What's going to make you happy right now in context of good human discernment, good human judgment? You know, they're like, it's not about racking it. Like, okay, well, I want a Porsche right now. I'm just going to freaking leverage this, and this to buy it, whatever. I don't know. They literally showed me the Porsche to give me an example of just something, anything. Like, there might be something that you want, but there are good human judgments. You know your bank account numbers. You know your cash flow. You know your credit. You know what you can support or not. Like, use your basic human judgment in combination with your desires. And they're saying that it's really, really, really important that these muscles are worked out right now because we're actually in the process of, they give us building blocks through the year. All of the starseed entity types and groups and angelics deliver light codes or light packets or downloads to the planet through the year. And this building block has a lot to do with something that they're not showing me right now in 6 to 9 months. That's a really, really big deal, that if we don't have these codes locked in, this discernment at the human level with our human process of being able to make decisions with spirit. The way most people think about decisions is there are human, logical, linear decisions, and then there are spiritual decisions. The human decisions are like the, I don't know, immediate step by step, and it doesn't involve spirit. And the spiritual decisions involve a lot of surrender, but the way that they're showing it to me is like, oh, I'll let God take care of it. Oh, I won't make that decision yet. Oh, that's a dream of mine that I've had forever, but God will tell me when to do it. Oh, I want to be an actress, but God will let me know if but it's been like a dream. You know, this is something that's like, if it's been a dream for you for 2 decades or whatever it is, why don't you just sign up for the classes? Like, spirit is like, enough with trying to give it back up to spirits. This is such a level of discernment that I'm trying to read right now to explain to you guys, because I understand this packet of information intuitively. It's already baked into me, but trying to describe it to you, I'm like, they're not saying to not surrender. They're just saying, stop being impractical. They're saying a lot of people that are spiritual keep tossing it back up and refusing to take responsibility over their life and make the fucking decisions that they need to make at a granular level on a day-to-day basis that spirit cannot make for you. Spirit is not going to guide me to buy flowers. Like, I'm going to either do it or I'm not, based on my preferences of what I like in my life or around my life, what makes me feel good. I don't know if you guys can hear, there's a helicopter above that just got really intensely loud. It's like shaking my floor. That's like, hi, like spirit's like shaking the house right now. Like, stop giving it all up to spirit. Like, you have a human mind that is capable of making very concrete, very good decisions with good judgment. Like, stop avoiding using it. The reason why we avoid using it as spiritualists is because we don't want to take responsibility for the results. Once you claim the decision, you make the decision, you have to then claim responsibility for the results. If the results don't come out the way you want, we don't want to take responsibility for it. We'd rather pitch it up to spirit. Oh, why didn't that relationship work out? Oh, because spirit didn't want it. It's like, well, did you ever call them? Like, it's like that's what spirit's like saying right now. I wanted to pursue this dream. Oh, I guess it wasn't meant for me. And spirit's like, we told you to sign up for improv comedy classes. again and again, and by we told you, it was like an inkling in your heart and you kept refusing it. Oh no, I can't do it. Oh God, heaven forbid I do something outside of my comfort zone. Just do it. Just make the logical decisions. There is responsibility that comes with it. The majority of that responsibility is an emotional responsibility where you then have to grapple with what if this doesn't work out the way that I thought? It'll work out no matter what, but what if it doesn't work out the way that I thought? That process, if we threw a little package around that as something to journal, consider, work through heavily, quote, okay, I'm putting it here. What if it doesn't work out the way that I thought? That is the problem, and that's actually what needs to be worked out. It has nothing to do with these actual decisions or what you're buying or not buying, what you're enrolling in or not enrolling in, what you are engaging with in relationships or not. It has everything to do with your thought process around, but what if it doesn't work the way that I wanted it to? That is where all the fucking personal growth work is. That is where the death is. That is where the transformation is. That is where spirit can step in, and actually that is where you surrender, is in that moment where spirit can actually take over. Not in the moment of, I don't want to make a mistake, spirit. Tell me whether or not this person is for me. Tell me whether or not this career is for me. Please, I don't want to jump unless it's going to be perfect. And if I jump and if anything's imperfect, I'm just going to retreat and run away again because I actually don't know what I'm doing. They're telling me that the biggest human issues are a lack of commitment. That commitment's actually one of the most challenging aspects to master as being human, because it's not just a one-time thing. Okay, so you make your jump, you commit to writing a book, you commit to being an actor, you commit to building a business, you make your solid commitment, you commit to another human, you commit in marriage, whatever it is. You make the one commitment, and then they're saying, and then humans think it ends there. They're like, oh, I made my commitment. So then when things don't work out, they go back into control patterns. And they go, well, and then you start thinking in terms of either God told you to do it or God didn't tell you to do it. And we think in terms of that drastic morality at the polarity level, because it's easier, because the human mind, it's actually, my brain's going to blow up even going through this. It's actually much, much harder for the human mind to accept responsibility. That commitment is daily. It's not just all of a sudden going to work out, going to be easy. It is a daily commitment. If you choose a career and you make a leap, that career leap is daily. Daily. Like, you should be surrendering around lots of things. You should be in lots of challenge daily, not to take on stress, but to actually be in that playground space that humans are supposed to be in, that they most often avoid, which is, I'm uncomfortable, I'm outside of my comfort zone, I can't control it, things aren't going the way that I want them to go, and now somehow I have to give this up to spirit and continue to have the courage to keep going and to keep doing things that I don't know how they're gonna go, but I do feel like it's my path. And it's like making decisions and dealing with the consequences, and spirit's saying stuff. They're saying the entire crowd of you has gone to a snail's pace of manifestation, especially financially. And if you need help with that, or that's something you've been chewing on, Money Recoded is open. We're going to be starting, I think, this week coming up at the end of the week. And the following week, I have 2 portal gate openings with that. Money Recoded is in the description link below. There's a promo code there as well for you. We're going to be recoding your relationship with money, which is like all around where these actions are coming from and how we work with spirit to manifest vision into reality. What they're telling me is the entire collective is like on their heels at a snail's pace about how they're manifesting. So there's this idea within the Spiritual Light Collective, again, because as we get more and more light and we take more of these downloads and we become more spiritual and more aware of the manifestation process, they're showing the collective is all of a sudden becoming less human, meaning we're constantly sitting back on our heels and going, Spirit will tell me what to do. I'll just wait. I'll wait for an answer. And Spirit's up there, they're coming through really strong today. Spirit's like, get off your ass. Like, You're an adult. You can make decisions. Like, Spirit's like, we're not making it easy for you on purpose. We'll make it easy in other areas, but you're missing the whole fucking point of this human thing, which is to be comfortable making decisions in the unknown without knowing the outcome. Because if you knew the outcome, you'd be spirit. You wouldn't be human. You wouldn't be human. And if you can predict the outcome, you are moving too slow. That is what Spirit is saying right now. If you can predict the outcome, and you can predict the outcome of almost anything around you, and you are in a predictable environment, you're going too slow. They're saying, get in your fucking race car seat. You're a Ferrari race car driver, or whatever, one of those, they're like, get in your race car. Stop walking around the race car, analyzing the race car, and get in the fucking race car. That race car is your highest timeline. That race car is your biggest vision for reality, your highest potential. And they're saying, stop thinking that it's going to be easy. It is going to be easy. You're walking down your yellow brick road. It's going to feel easy, but there is going to be equal challenge and adversity. Stop running away from the adversity. Now, it's up to you as an adult with good discernment within your spiritual practice to know the difference between adversity that is based in trauma and adversity that is part of the process of you actually being able to unlock your potential. They are two very different types of adversity. They're not going to explain it through to me today because that's not the focus of this stream. But they're saying to take responsibility off of me, off of Stormy, that is your responsibility. You need to know the difference between the two different types of adversity. Trauma adversity is not an adversity you should be selecting at all. And you will select it unconsciously if you are not working the other side of the adversity, which is achievement, which is the unsexy process of being human, deciding you want to create something and then starting the creation process where everything gets like really messy. Anyone that's ever painted before, like, you get all your materials, you've got a bunch of paint on the ground, as you're painting, as you're working through a project, there are paintbrushes with paint, there's stuff all over the floor. I paint on the floor, clearly. It looks messy. Like, you can't judge that process. You can't just wait for Spirit to make all the decisions for you. They're saying, stop treating Spirit like a parent. You are an adult. Spirit is not your parent. Spirit is not meant to be a parent. They will take on parenting roles, your spirit guides, when we are so overwhelmed and so can't handle our lives, or we are so new that Spirit will parent, but it's not Spirit's job. We don't gain what we need to from this human experience when we treat Spirit like a parent. And I'm also hearing, like, this is no ill, no bad on you. Do not shame yourself if you are in this place. I certainly have been. It's more like, start making this transition. I'm actually hearing, like, if you don't start making this transition, the rug is going to be pulled out from under you from Spirit, because they're showing me so many moving discs at the collective level with way too many humans. There's something about this week, this portal point, it is tied to the election. That's like, can you guys show it to me in another way? I'm here, it's not like an anger, but from Spirit, it's almost like, enough already. Enough playing. Have you seen what's going to happen in this world? Like, have you been listening to your fellow humans? I had a number of people call me and crying last week. Because they're afraid of the state of whether or not they're going to be able to take care of themselves. There's a ton of fear. Spirit's not saying, oh, just give the fear up to us. We'll handle it. We'll rearrange it. Spirit's saying, you're the motherfucking warriors on that planet. Roll your fucking sleeves up and start getting to work. No one's going to fix these human problems but humans. Spirit will come in and deliver us codes and messages and try to get us into alignment like we're little puzzle pieces, but Spirit can't take the action. We actually have to exercise our own discernment and say, wow, that's not working for me. That's not working for this planet. That's not working for this country. That's not working for that community, or whatever the hell it is, and then get your hands in the dirt and start taking some fucking responsibility and taking care of it. For you guys to know the level of intensity that's coming through me, like, I was in a soft, I was so soft this morning. This isn't my personality. Like, this is the channeled message. It's coming through with a lot of intensity. Like, they're yelling at you. I don't know how else to describe it. Spirit's borderline angry. And I know, for you guys to know, like, I know that'll come through like it's my energy because it's being downloaded in my solar plexus and coming through at the human level. But it's not me. I have no attachment to any of this. I've already integrated a lot of this, but it's like, I can feel that it is anger. It's coming out of my stomach, out of my solar plexus. Spirit's like, get it fucking together. You are human. You are an adult. You can make these simple decisions. Stop crying over it. You don't like the decisions that are happening in your environment, then start taking fucking leadership roles. Stop sitting back. Stop saying it's everyone else's fault. Stop defaulting responsibility. Let go of what everyone else is doing and start taking some fucking responsibility. But you won't take that responsibility because you're too afraid of being wrong. You're too afraid that you won't get it right. You're too afraid that nobody will listen to you. You're too afraid that you're too small. Who would possibly listen to you? How could you possibly have anything to say that would change this country, change your community, change gender dynamics, change this fucking world? And you know what Spirit's saying? Get the fuck over it. Again, this level of fervor that is coming through is not Stormy. It's not me. This is the channel. They're being sweet and they're being soft on the outskirts of the energy downloads to try to get us in because they know, like, it's like a puppy. They're dealing with grown-ass dogs, actually, but the dogs won't come unless there's some treats. So Spirit is distributing treats like, look, it's simple, look, it's easy. Oh my God, we love you. And then once we get in, Spirit's like, you're a whole grown-ass dog. Like, stop asking us where you need to relieve yourself, or like which dogs you can play with, or what your responsibilities are, or what your highest purpose is. You know your highest purpose. You're already familiar with it. You just keep rejecting it. Who's my soulmate? You know who your soulmate is. Stop rejecting it. And if you don't know who your soulmate is, it's you. You are the soulmate. So stop treating it like it lives outside of you. It's like, there's so much coming through right now. Sorry, not sorry. Okay. Is there any more that needs to come through? Is that message fully delivered? Okay, so what they're saying to me is, and for me in the future, for you guys to know where this channel is going, is it's important that I say what needs to be said without sugarcoating it. It's going to frequently come off like it is me, like it is Stormy, because I have the ability to have this expression. This is a spiritual expression. It's less me than anything. I'm happy to embody it, and I will continue to embody it. And they're just telling me, they're like, it's really important that you say what needs to be said on the channel through me, through my human experience, in a way that might piss people off, Stormy. Because you need to be a vessel that can speak on behalf of the tough love Spirit has. Spirit is sick of sugarcoating everything because everyone is too fucking docile on the grid. All the spiritualists are passive. They are passive. They're like, oh, I'll let someone else handle it. Spirit will handle it. And then they're showing me visions of villages being raped and pillaged and burned down. And the spiritualists are like, oh, but Spirit will handle it. I don't want to get my hands dirty. That's bad. Oh, no, I'm not going to fight. Oh, no. I'm spiritual. I'll just go back to meditating. I'll just isolate. Everything's going to be great. Everything's great. Everything is so great. I'm totally decaying inside, but everything is gonna be so great. It's okay to punch some people in the face sometimes, metaphorically or physically. It's okay to actually speak your truth. It's okay to get fucking angry. Being spiritual doesn't mean you're not human. It just means you know how to use your human emotion, how to use your human raw power, how to use your actual power and your ability to influence others into making better decisions. They're coming through with election stuff right now too. They're like, do you know why the election went the way that it did? Because too many people aren't exercising their right to influence others. And by too many people, they're saying specifically the people that are educated, the people that have light, the people that have a high emotional IQ are sitting back, are saying, well, someone else will take care of that mess. That's not my mess. And they're saying, welcome to planet Earth. It's all your fucking mess. pick up a shovel and figure out where within the mess you'd like to start working, start digging in, and realize it's a lifelong fucking commitment. That's what they're saying to me right now. Your leadership is a lifelong fucking commitment. Spirit is not interested in sugarcoating. There will be other spiritual leaders that will sugarcoat because it's the only way that spirit can get through. Okay, hang on, you guys. This is a lot of... I'm literally just going to burst out into tears. This is so much energy. I'm in the 1111 portal. These are the portal guides. Oh my God. Okay, so the human's just gonna tell you what's going on at the human level. I feel like I'm gonna vomit. I really feel like I'm gonna throw up. So my work right now, and they're kind of putting me in the middle of this process, my work is to be able to reacclimate myself. Wow, that was really uncomfortable for me. I actually have a physical reaction. Okay, so how am I gonna be dealing with this? Because this is clearly my new role. And they've been hitting me over the head since this video, since this channel, that this is a lifelong commitment. So now I'm kind of starting to massage and accept, like, oh, this is my life work. I'm like, oh, it's a lot less fun than I thought it was going to be. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like, oh, is it going to feel like this all the time? And it's like, well, it'll probably be really fun, but those aspects of my mind need to be worked out. That's the consciousness that I'm going to need to sit in, that I'll sit in today. I'm not gonna lie, it feels like this, and this part isn't me. The way that it's being processed through, which is probably how you'll be processing the energy. It feels like a panic attack. And I don't have anxiety problems, and like this feels like, it feels like a mass panic attack, which also tells me that there's more information coming, whether through the news, the collective, whatever's gonna happen, up through like January 6th or what have you, and then some. There's going to be something that's going to trigger you guys into a panic, into a purge. I really feel like I'm going to vomit. Something where people are all of a sudden going to realize the level of anger that they have inside, and that it's righteous rage. And that righteous rage, that spiritual rage, actually has to come out. It has to be expressed, because it is how you turn something slow, something sluggish, into fuel, into something that you can actually use. Spirit's saying loud and clear to me right now, there are too many of you that are sitting back, moving too slowly, expecting the world to keep your pace, when there are dark forces that are happy to take the reins. There are dark forces that are happy to do leadership. There are dark forces that are happy to get their hands in the mud and get their hands dirty. They don't give a fuck. So like, as far as spiritual warfare goes, and strategy, especially at the American level, the spiritualists are not doing such a great job. That's what I'm hearing. The spiritualists are just saying, oh, you take care of it. Like, I can't tell you how many people I heard last week that I ran into that are lovely humans that I adore, be like, oh, no judgment if you voted either way. And I was like, I think that's why the election went the way that it did, is because people were like, oh, no judgment. All of the kind people are like, no judgment, do whatever you need. Meanwhile, everybody's being raped and pillaged, and the villages are being burned to the ground. It's like, no offense, you guys. I am liberal. I am not, I don't align with a political party, but I will happily come forward and say I'm liberal. The conservatives, and I don't watch news and shit, these are just sweeping energies, like people that fall on the height, not just conservative, because actually the party's got to split. It's like, what would we call them? The hyper conservatives. Have no problem telling people off, have no problem saying you're an asshole if you don't vote this way, have no problem projecting their feelings, their worldviews on others, and that is what controls the masses. Meanwhile, the people that are educated, that have the high emotional EQ, are like, no problem, do whatever you want. Like, Spirit's saying to me, there's a reason why we have locks on our doors. So, I mean, if you're going to create the whole garden and spend all of your beautiful, precious energy, time, and life force growing the strawberries and the apples and growing the greens and the arugula, and you're not going to have the 2 cents to put a gate around your fucking garden. Let's say it's a community garden, but like people need access. Like, and then and then you have other humans that are just going to come and tear through all the work, steal everything that you have, eat it all and go, fuck you, this was mine. If you're not, they are communicating in terms of intelligence. Spirit's saying if you're not intelligent enough to put up boundaries around your garden, to say, this is mine, and I deserve to protect the space, and it's not yours, and if you come near me, I will shoot you. That is how Spirit's communicating it, okay? Whether or not you believe in gun control, I don't know. Like, gun anything, I don't know. It's literally, it's more like you have to be willing to fight. You have to be willing to do what is necessary to guard your territory, your spiritual territory, your life, your love. They keep showing me a garden, like a physical garden, your home. Locks keep honest people honest. I remember hearing that phrase when I was like 10 or 11, and I was like, wow, that makes so much sense. Locks keep honest people honest. Like, you're installing a lock. Spirit essentially opened up the entire light collective and was like, Spirit's saying to me, holy shit, Stormy, they don't understand what's coming. And I have the name Stormy for a reason. I am a pro with chaos, and I'm a pro with storms. I'm a pro with crisis. I'm a pro at anything unstable. It is why I am so stable. It would take quite a lot to throw me off my balance. I'm not asking for the challenge. I'm just saying, it's not random. I have built this skill. And they're saying that's why this message is coming through me, is because I embody the storm. I embody all of it. I'm happy to be whatever I need to be, without thinking that Spirit needs me to be docile in order to be spiritually protected. You can be spiritually protected when you're docile, but it leaves, oh God, it's actually harder for Spirit. And you're going to be less happy with the outcomes, if I could be honest. If you're willing to protect yourself, oh my God, Spirit will give you guns, man. Metaphorically, maybe even literally. Spirit will give you everything. If you're willing to actually do what you need to do to protect your own right to succeed. Your right to your emotions. It's not just you, it's like you also looking out for the people around you. So like my leadership role is to empower you all. I'm not going to go and like educate voters, you know what I mean? Or what, like there are more concrete things that are not my job. This is my job. My job is to get out of my way, which I think was their, oh, this was the next theme. Like get out of my way and say what needs to be said and be the vessel that sparks maybe even anger and maybe even hatred in someone anywhere near me because I triggered something that they weren't ready for, but they had to hear because Spirit sent it through. And although that's not popular, they're showing me a combustion, like an engine. There needs to be a spark. There needs to be a catalyst. And without it, if everything's docile, everything's smooth, everything's love and light, without that spark, without that, and what's that spark? It's Spirit. It could be anger. It's a good use of anger. Use your discernment. I'm not going to explain through that right now. Not all anger is great, but they're like, actually, they're reminding me of that Ram Dass documentary. I remember watching it. Don't hate me, okay? I'm like, don't hate the messenger. I remember watching it, and he was going into like, don't be angry, don't be angry. And I was like, wow, spiritual men have been taught to just completely spiritual bypass humanity and human emotion. Anger is what creates the fuel to actually make change. And if spiritualists don't use the base human emotions to convert the actual surroundings and create actual change, the dark forces will. And then we wonder, why are we in a small number and why are there so many other dark forces that are like raping the planet? Well, because the spiritualists aren't using their humanity. They're floating off to some cloud saying everything's going to be okay. It is going to be okay, but you are part of that being okay. And part of that being okay is rolling your sleeves up and being willing to deliver a hard message, being willing to show up and do hard work. This is a very, very practical portal. It is a hard work portal. Now, again, you're going to have to rely on your own discernment because I'm not about like hard work for the sake of hard work, but I'm probably you'd be hard pressed to find someone that works harder than me. But I don't work for the sake of work. I just know where I'm going. I know what I want my life to look like, and I'm willing to put in the daily effort every fucking day. Like, I've been like that since I was a kid. It's not work for work's sake. Working hard for the sake of working hard is a very different thing. Okay, so the next theme number 4 was, now they're alleviating some of that message, is let God lend a hand. So where there is tension, where there is not a knot, where there is friction, this will mostly feel mental, but you'll also see it in action. If you're taking a lot of actions to get a result and you're just not getting that result from those actions, stop. Give it back up to spirit. Give it back up to God. Let God lend the hand. Let God take it over. Anything that requires lots of mental thought, give it back up. Give the mental thought up. It doesn't mean don't think. Again, there's lots of discernment here. We're getting into very human spiritual concepts. This is like most channels channel all the spiritual data. Then there's like the human data. It's like personal development. Psychology is being handled down here. Spiritual channel being handled up here. This portal is working this middle range right here, right in between the spiritual and human, right in all the gray where like the white and the black start to meet in the middle, and it's the most confusing territory. That is where all of this discernment is, and they need more hands on deck for spiritual humans to be working in that gray zone, because there isn't enough consciousness in that gray zone for humanity at the collective level to understand. People are flip-flopping in between 3D and 5D, or in between what it is to be human or divine, or a higher self. And they're saying that we actually need to work, like till the soil of consciousness and of action, what it is to act on behalf of being human, in that middle zone. And that's where all of this focus is for this portal, this week, this stream, even this month. Okay, so can you guys just break down quickly, when there's too much thought and we give that up to God, what does that look like? Changing tasks, changing focus. Get your focus onto the prize, onto the right thing. If something's not working, let it go, even for an hour, maybe for a day, and then revisit it again. When you let that thing go, that thing that had tension, that was difficult mentally, you couldn't find a solution. When you let it go, ask spirit to get you the solution. Ask spirit to bring the opportunity. And part of the letting go is where the energies are then rearranged. Your spirit team will actually rearrange the Jenga puzzle of the energetics so that you'll be provided new downloads even the next morning, the next day, the next week. And you have to trust that process of if it's too tight. Oh wait, I don't know if it's supposed to be this day or that. I don't know. Whatever it is, whatever you're oscillating around mentally and it's too much and it's too hard, just make whatever decision you can make and then let it go and revisit it at the next checkpoint. If there's something rather immediate that you have to do, the next checkpoint might be in 4 hours. The next checkpoint might be tomorrow morning. Before you go to bed, say, Spirit, take this over, give me a solution in the morning. When you wake up, you'll have a solution. It's like move it to the next checkpoint and ask Spirit to do whatever energetic rearranging work needs to be done, so that when you show up at the next point, you'll be able to make a new decision from that point of the mental work being massaged by Spirit. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Oh my gosh, I feel like I just did a workout. Like my heart feels like it just did a workout. I haven't done a stream like this in a minute. Is there anything else that you guys would like to share? What's fair is fair. My ideas and my beliefs are my own. The channels that speak through me are the channels that speak through me. You have your own ideas and beliefs that you are entitled to and to protect. Enjoy that. Take what resonates, leave the rest. I am not for everyone. My channels are not for everyone. My spirit guide teams that I work with are not for everyone. If it doesn't fit your mold, do your own thing. That is just being told to re-separate out the group again. What else do we need there? You're entitled to your right to think, speak, and believe in a way that feels the best for you. They're saying this because they're trying to remind you that I have authority and that I'm practicing that authority, but it does not take away from your own authority. They're more saying to use my expression as an example that it's all right to be passionate. You don't have to remove the passion to be spiritual. You can be human. You can be expressive. In fact, it's better if you are expressive within the umbrella of the discernment of following your yellow brick road and understanding who you are and your beliefs at this point, and being willing to take responsibility for how you think, how you feel, how you act, what you speak, how you're, and the consequences of all of that, which is very human. The consequences of like the things you say may affect others. I understand those consequences as well, and I'm here for it. Consequence is a big aspect of humanity that they're saying most spiritual people try to avoid or step away from. Like, hi, yes, it's karma, and karma's pretty immediate, but consequence is something that you should be actively thinking about. What are the consequences? At what cost? What does this mean? How? Why? What are the effects? They're like, bring it back to the Yeti, and then you can go off stream. They just gave me a gift, and they said it's the Yeti, Stormy. So the in the portal ceremony that I'm doing tomorrow, it's called the Yeti code, and the Yeti, they said, is the spiritual awakening that gets unlocked at the human level when you know who you are. When you know who you are and you know who you're not, there's a level of power that comes through in leadership, that comes through in your personal self-expression. It's a powerful self-expression. It's a self-defense, self-expression. It's very grounded, very rooted. Stand your ground. It can be conflict-based. It can be peaceful. It depends on what the situation needs. And it's balanced. It understands polarity completely and duality, and when to go on either side of the duality or to walk that middle line. And that middle line is the hardest line to walk because it involves understanding mastery of each of the polarities. And they're saying that's the Yeti consciousness. So, you know, if we think about spirit totems, animal totems, like maybe you love wolves, maybe you love lions, maybe you love tigers, whatever your totem is, the Yeti, like the unicorn, but the unicorn's a very different download code, is a spirit totem. It's a way of life. It's a way of organizing your personal energy around discernment and around personal leadership, around being the vessel that can actually be the spiritual human, not channel separately the spirituality and then be human and try to jump in between. The Yeti is the combination of all of it. So we're going to be going through those codes, a channeled transmission, and a guided activation and meditation healing ceremony tomorrow for the 1111 portal. I'd love for you to join me. If you were inspired, if it feels right, if you feel guided, sign up. If you got nothing to do and you want to have a good time, you want some good ascension codes, you want to be covered by spirit, show up. The link is in the description below. The promo code is already applied at checkout because I wanted to make it lots of 11s, and that was harder to do with a promo code. So it's already automatic. And I will see you guys in the morning. And if you catch this later and want to sign up later, then you'll get access to everything in the student portal with the replays and the meditations. Go check out the landing page. See everything you get. You're going to get a bunch of trainings and stuff up front. Not a bunch, but one. It's like an hour, hour and a half, something like that. And then an extra bonus meditation. You're going to love it. That's my point. Okay, let me look through the comments. I love you guys so much. Thank you for joining me. I feel like they just gave me a pulse. Hold on. Akashic Records, are we good? They're like, your impulse is strong. They're really happy with me right now, by the way. I used to never do stuff like this where I would be like, the human me would be so present. I'm like, well, if you channel that level of passion and anger through a different channel where I'm actually like trance channeling, I'm like, fine. But me, because I was afraid of people judging me, and I'm like, I don't care. They're really thrilled with me. They're like, oh, she did it. Like she's willing. I will say what needs to be said, man. I'm going to get more and more strong as we go, because sometimes I not water, but kind of water. Sometimes I sugarcoat the messages because they're hard. Okay, Jem, been on a journey. They took me down a rabbit hole. Zechariah, blessings. The Reiki and coaching for Jem. Yes. Daniel, happy to see you. Oh my gosh. You guys are just vibing in here. Good, 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 good. Supplements, vitamins, carrot juice. Yes, good. Get on it. You got it. Chlorophyll is great. I agree. For mitochondria. Yes, wonderful. Sleep with affirmations on. Yeah, that's all great. Oh my God, I love these. Stephanie, there are no rewards or punishments, only consequences. I actually really like that. I haven't heard that, but I like that quote. Yeah, because if you watch my last 11/11 mastery video, the rewards and the punishments are like it's like it's the climax and then the valley or the trough on the wave pattern of as we're riding our emotional roller coasters, and the stable line is just understanding consequence and just making the actions moving forward, understanding that not every action is going to make you feel really, 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 really great. Some things just need to be done. A lot of us know that as being human, but it's almost like we forget when we start working spirit, if that makes sense. Hi, Kimmy. Oh my gosh. Okay, that's what I got. Lots of love. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.